I was listening to a podcast that you did in 2021 with Allison Bird and Kate Sterling. You know these women?
Yeah, I sure do.
You had said that part of the reason why you liked working with them is that they had a lot more patience for the creative talent than you did, that you were tough, that you were cut and dry, that you and Eileen Ford were very in touch with your masculine sides and knew how to get things done. When you look back on that, do you feel like you would do it the exact same way today, that it is necessary to be that tough in order to get excellence out of people? Or is there anything in hindsight that it maybe could have been different?
I don't think I would do a lot of things differently, but there's definitely a toning down of certain parts that I think I probably could have embraced. And I wish I had a little more patience earlier. I used to be called the queen of the drop.
They called you that?
Mm-hmm. I was a little hot-headed back in the day.
Were they?
Gotta be honest.
Do you know?
Since I keep saying it's best to be honest.
It is. But
I dropped a lot of talent. I dropped Orbe at one point. He flicked a cigarette across the office at Ford.
Why? Putting it out? Being sassy?
Being sassy. And I dropped him.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Other people were on drugs. And I said, you got to go take care of yourself. You can't be here and be on drugs. I had a 0 drug policy. And then just not smart behavior on set. You know, I dropped because she was rude on set. Sent her portfolios to the set.
Sent her portfolios to the set? Brooke! You sent her portfolio to set?
With the files.
How quickly who was the one that told you she was being a jerk?
She did.
Wait, tell me everything.
She called me from set demanding something that a supermodel was getting treatment of. And I had worked really hard to get her a very exciting gig. It was Christy Turlington and we were working together for Maybelline.
Mm.
And Christy's agent was like, Maybelline doesn't have the budget to send her to Asia. And I said, okay, I have a great idea. Let's send with posters of Christy and we'll create a budget for and can go to Asia and show Christy's photos of these giant posters and the makeup. She can talk about the actual product in Asia and talk about what she did to create the look for Christy in the posters. And L'Oreal loved it. And I said, I'm going to get you media trained. I'm going to make you all this money. That's going to be great. And then she called me from set and said, I was just talking to Christy, and Christy said she could get media trained immediately. What's the problem? Why aren't you getting me media trained? After I'd created that whole deal out of thin air.
Bye-bye.
Just let me get your books. Let me get those files. Let me get them all together. Messenger service. Yes, I'd have a pickup.
Was she on set in where? What country?
New York.
New York. Yeah. She was basically handed papers.
I guess I'm out of the cab.
You're out of the cab. Keep going. This is amazing. What else? This is the cutting room floor. This is why we're here. I mean, I hear stories about that. This is why the life of an agent. This is the kind of stuff I want to know, because like sometimes you see somebody and
it's not that bad.
Well, no,
there have been moments, and I think I was probably a little hot-headed about certain things, more so than most.
You were young. You were running a business.
I was running a business.
You didn't know what you were doing. We're making mistakes every day as we go.
I didn't make mistakes. No. Sometimes you have to be crystal clear. I love Brené Brown's Clear is Kind.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're always thinking of the bigger picture, the nuances or the sort of things that are around you get in the way. And so you're constantly trying to clear that so that you can get to the bigger picture for all. I definitely felt that at times, that if you get in my way, I'm going to remove you quickly because this isn't just about me. We were acquired by IMG, which Ari Emanuel at Endeavor bought IMG for $4 billion or whatever it was. And Art and Commerce was in that sale, was in that acquisition. And then he bought the Wall Group. Mm-hmm. So we were all under the same umbrella, same family. And because art and commerce was threatened by me, I'll take responsibility for that. The Wall Group, we sent Dom Perignon to two of the leaders at Art and Commerce at the time and said, we're so excited to be here with you. Look forward to having me, because we were all going to be in the same meetings. We were all going to be sharing a lot of the same information and working together. And we said, we look forward and we're happy to have lunch with you soon. And they wrote back, we don't do lunch.
I love it. I love it.
And not even a thank you for the Dom.
Message received.
Message received. We did laugh it off. The funny thing with the fashion industry is the fashion industry is supposed to set the trends, and they're supposed to be 3 steps, 4 steps, 10 steps ahead of the curve. And quite often they're more resistant to change than other industries.
Yeah.
Even the name fashion, it's almost like I've struggled with even understanding what it means today, because it used to represent sort of the state of the times, kind of where pop culture was at. And people that were fashionable were ahead. They knew what was hot, what was not. I mean, I think people are stuck in their ways because humans don't like change. I mean, it's in their nature. And I think for a lot of the players, it's a microcosm of talent that really make the big bucks within fashion, high fashion. And dominating that is a lifestyle. It's how it's how they've lived. It's what they know. And so to see change coming in, it's frightening for them. And they're going to resist naturally. But I think you have to embrace and stay ahead to be fashionable. That's my point. I think for a lot of the talent, which I've sat beside certain editors from certain publications, and they've said, can you help me with my career? I want to do other things. And I said, well, what do you really want to do? And they said, more editorial. And it blows my mind. I almost want to like change my seat at the table. I don't know what to say to someone who says more editorial today in April of 2025. And my heart breaks. It's really heartbreaking because I want to say, no, you have so much to give right now because you were in a time that was so interesting. Move into other things and bring that creativity and bring that knowledge and that talent with you, but expand it into other areas. Give it to other people in different ways.
Oh, you're saying like an OG will be someone who's saying this to you?
Yes. Shocking. It is. And then it's an automatic, oh, I'm going to create a book. Oh, I'm going to create a coffee table book and it's going to be really pretty. Well, you're not going to retire on a coffee table book, everybody. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Nice to have.
Tell me about this time that you were sitting at this table and you told a group of creative people,
oh,
it's not cool.
It's not cool to be 50 and broke. I was sitting with Mario Sorrenti, Bob Racine, and Frank B. at a dinner, and they were going on about being like doing stuff that was super cool. And I said, what's not cool, you guys? Being broke at 50. I said it because if you get locked into making that your only goal, you're going to be challenged. Well, it depends, because you can take Supreme as a brand and say, look, it's super cool and it's, $1 billion brand. So it depends on what's behind it. But as far as individual creative talent goes, and to say I'm not going to do a Target campaign, or I'm not going to do this over here because I'm only going to do cool editorial with Mario Sorrenti, who's the coolest of the cool, then you're going to limit yourself to your growth, to your creative. And I don't think that necessarily is a way to maximize your success financially. I just don't.